everybody. Guess what? You guys are back to another episode of Youth Pulse podcast, and this is the 19th episode of it all, in which we always handle things relatable to youth and how we are going to be handling it, and even speaking from our hearts. And each and every time we do have a different topic, and for today's topic, we're going to be tackling why education is so important among youth, because like our parents and fourth parents keep telling us like education is the key, but each and every time we just want to see how the brighter future from the perspective of the youth themselves. So why not we just dive into the conversation as we introduce our guests for this very episode. Hi guys.
Hello.
Hi ladies.
Hi.
Today we are having ladies, by the way. You can just go ahead, introduce yourself, who you are, and which school are you in, if you're at school, and what talents do you guys have, and maybe any additional things you would love the viewers to know about.
All right. Well, as for me, my name is Rose Nyathak William, and I'm a student of Stafford University, and I'm studying banking and finance.
Okay.
And as you say, talents, I could say maybe try a bit singing, and I love dancing a lot. That is it. About other stuff, maybe I have various categories that I do. I'm also a presenter, and I'm a model. And other stuff you will get to know if you get the chance to talk to me.
It's all in you.
Yeah, all me.
Jesus, when I grow up, I want to be like you.
Yes. Amen for that.
Well, thank you so much. My name is Anikang Victoria Wanikose. I'm also a student, the former Kampala University that had a lot of scandal here and then, but right now it has been changed. Now it is something else. I'm a second year student doing information technology and computer sciences. Yeah, and also at the same time, I sometimes work as a radio presenter.
Wow, so we're having two radio presenters in the house. Interesting. People are highly welcome to the Youth Pulse podcast. And as I mentioned in our intro, they always keep telling us education is the key. So like, why do you think our elderly people used to be telling us education is the key? What always comes into your mind when you hear education is the key?
All right. First of all, let me just put a quote, not a quote, but a statement that when I was very little, when they say education, you go to education, I was so empowered. But at the same time, I was very annoyed.
Why?
Because how could I be wake up at 5 for to go to school?
Yes.
Different subjects. But then I came to realize that the reason why they wanted us to focus on education, because it helped us to be to be very, very successful and very productive individuals in the country. Not only the family, because we go to go for education to better the family, but then you consider the country because that's you are a citizen. So education has a various importances, like it help you to be independent, self-resilient, all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
As for her, she mentioned about how it really empowers a person. But for your case, like, how do you think that education, or how does education really empower young people in making decisions for their lives?
Well, I think education is a very, very important aspect in each and everyone's life because, first of all, the level a person that has gone to school reason differs from the way a person that has not gone to school reasons. Like, let me just say, a person that has gone to school has advanced thinking capacity or reasoning capacity, because some of the times things will be happening in a society, whether good or bad. Someone who has gone to school will differentiate, but in a different way, not in a way that it will look for solutions on how to solve the particular problem that is happening in the community. Now, when you go to school, or an educated person will have critical thinking, will think critically on how and look for ways of how they can be able to solve a particular problem that is happening in the community. Take an example, when we had the outbreak, the COVID outbreak. Most people did not go to school to study COVID. COVID was not actually did not start here in this country. But when people got this information, most of the people, like the doctors and all that, and the people that are of that hierarchy, they were able to disseminate this information and give people measures of how they can take care of themselves during the the COVID. That's where they introduced the quarantine, the curfews.
Social distance.
Yeah, and social distancing and all that.
Yes.
If someone has not gone to school, like most of the people who did not go to school were say take tea, you need to take ginger.
At 5 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
by the way. Oh,
Yeah.
Damn.
that
They
was a
were saying
serious
the
thing.
medicine for this thing is tea. You need to take tea constantly.
goodness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sleep is
So
sweet.
It is crazy, by the way. Before we continue,
yeah.
cut phones aside. They're using their phones.
We're using, but we're not using them exactly for
No,
that.
because like your focus cameras by then, it will be hard for him to cut.
Oh, the cat.
So phones aside, or you put it, or you give it to
You
him.
can just feel free to talk.
Yeah, it's not hard questions, by the way.
It's not hard. So we want to be in relevant.
Oh, okay, but I mean, if you want to see like anything content and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
talk, no,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I was talking
You've been
about.
reading all
Yeah.
through. You're
You
good.
can just like want to see a point and
Yeah.
talk. It's okay.
Yeah, I think maybe if I'm talking, she can be able to go through. Maybe she
Yes.
sees something a bit. That
Okay.
when I'm done, as she talks, I can also check on something small. Then
Okay.
yeah.
So, okay.
Mm.
Yeah, I agree, but what I mean is, because since you guys are on camera,
Mm.
so I don't want one person to
Because this is
Oh,
your
we,
camera.
it's
okay.
joint, yeah?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yes.
No problem.
But
So
you can
speak
just
from
see a
your heart.
point.
Speak from your heart. It's not. It's not. It's
By the way,
nothing
I read it
serious.
not from the. It's from the heart.
Okay, you see? You see how you're talking about it? Anyway, action. Now when it comes to education, like it really shape our future and our as well a decision and a career opportunities. But for our case, like in what ways do you think really education can shape someone and even give them the opportunity that they would love to have in their lives?
That's a good question. Well, that's for me. I would say that education shapes our career in this kind of ways that it helps you to be able to network. Networking is a very good tool if you are an educated person, because maybe you have started one field of for your career, but then when you do network, you engage with different people from different fields,
Yes.
and it also helps you to build your own business, like that is entrepreneurship. So that's what education does, as to me. Yeah. If you have to look into my life, yes, it has actually shaped the path of thinking and my confidentiality when I'm doing stuff. To be able to be reasonable and relevant when I'm doing my work or my personal living, because the state of mind has been educated, modified, modernizing issues. So that is it.
Okay.
Yeah.
In our today's date, like every person is really advocating and fighting for people to have, or for children to go to school. Can the NGOs, well, can the government, non-government organizations,
NGOs.
just name it, like those, everybody is just really fighting for the rights of youth or even children to go to school. But in another hand, like why education is really considered a fundamental basic need of someone outside there.
Well, if you don't go to school, you'll stay at home. You will not know what you want to be. You will not be able to decide on things by yourself. There will be always someone out there that will be coming to decide for you. Like before this country got to where it is right now, another country, like let's take Sudan, was ruling us.
Yeah.
But right now we have got our own president.
Yes.
That is as a result of education.
Yeah.
People are now aware that if I go to school, I'll be able to do this for my country or for my people. Like some of the stories that are being written about this country or about people, individuals in this country, are being written by different people. And at the end of the day, you come and find out that these people are actually not writing what is true. They write what they feel it's true. But you yourself, when you go to school, you're able to read and you understand. You understand because you are from there. You'll be able to give the right information that is supposed to come out for the rest of the people to learn about the country or about anything that is happening. Right now, I know of people who are outside of South Sudan. They are hearing a lot of stories about South Sudan and
bad
negative,
stories.
yes,
That's
negative
scary.
stories.
Yeah.
And just a few weeks ago, I spoke with one of my brother who studies in Uganda.
Yeah.
He graduated actually, and he doesn't want to come to Juba. I asked him, why don't you want to come to Juba? He was like, I've had a lot of negative stories about that country, and I'm not going there. That was like, then I told him, but it is your country, and these negative stories, have these people ever told you positive stories that they didn't tell me? Then I was like, how about you come here and see for yourself, or maybe hear some of these stories, or find out things that are happening in this country instead of hearing from another person. Then he was like, no, I need to hear from you. Then I was like, I'm not telling you, because I feel when you go to school, you'll be able to do your things the way you want it. You will be able to shape it in the right in the right order. So without education, how are you going to be doing that? How are you going to build these fundamentals of making things to, like, let's just, it's a foundation.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like with education, it can really help shaping our character. That's one. Because when in kindergarten, they used to always tell us, like, especially an example, going to the bathroom, they would say, like, wash your hands. If you're coming out, wash your hands. Even it's not done in the classrooms, but also starting from home. But it's still when it comes to me as a person, as Dikodi Andrew today, it's because of school I'm speaking this English. It's because of school, like, I'm acquiring whatever knowledge that I'm having right now. It's because of school I have written for you people's script that brought you here today. Right?
And even like in school we have this kind of activities like the debates. These debates help you shape your public speaking, leadership skills and all that. So like, we're not saying that people who did not go to school cannot do this. They can do it, but not at the same level to us the person that has gone to school or has an educated person will do it.
Getting to you, Rose, like, how did education contributed into your personal development? You mentioned earlier on a little bit about it, but you can just take us through about how did education contributed in your personal development? Because now you are studying banking, you're a radio presenter, you're other side, you're a model, you're the other side, I don't know how many times.
A singer,
you see, it's just too much.
Market.
A marketeer as well. That's what I tell you that when I grow up, I want to be like Rose.
All right. First of all, let me just go back to a short story of how I actually become who I am right now.
Yes.
I studied from Uganda. It has been quite 15 years.
Oh.
I've never had a desire to come to my country. Because I had stories that are terrifying. And but in my heart, I want to go back and also be a useful citizen, right? But when I came back, it was a bit difficult to get involved with education, like, because I had to join university. And I had different desires of what I wanted to learn. But then my parents had their own desires. So we had a period of fighting until I accept to give them a chance. Let me study what they want, which I did. That is banking and finance. Then when during the process, then I realized you can do whatever they want, but at the same time, you can do what you want. As I looked through, it was difficult getting engaged to businesses. You know, you need connection. You are like a foreigner, though you're a South Sudanese, but you grew up somewhere else. You look like a foreigner. But then I realized that I am a South Sudanese, so I have my rights. So when I got the opportunity to join radio, that is advanced, it's quite a good year, like 3 years. And I learned that you have to be persistent, resilient, be confident, be hardworking, self-driven. Even though things are hard, but that is the power. Because you are an inspiration to someone, whether you don't see it or not. That is the way you have to shape yourself. Because you have gone to school, you know the value of knowledge. And when you get the knowledge, you get the skills to impact the nation. And that's why today I'm here, and I'm really, really glad. And thank you, and also thank to God that I'm here today. That shows that education has shaped me to be a useful and wonderful citizen of South Sudan, to bring change.
In another hand, I feel like also education contribute into poverty.
Poverty,
yes.
Yeah.
Like in some places, like I feel like lack of education will take you deep down into poverty. I don't know. Because
Lack of education, right?
Yes, lack of education.
It's
It
true.
will lead you into deep poverty, even if you are poor, but it will just lead you into deep.
You know, education is awareness.
At some point,
Mm.
I would agree with you, because you find someone, they don't have anything
Yes.
for themselves, but they are fighting so hard to get something to go to school.
Yes.
Yes. How can you be suffering and you want to focus on
But even put in mind also those people who graduated, they feel so relaxed. They have the certificate, they have the education.
Yes.
But they're so relaxed, always complaining.
There are no jobs.
There are no job.
Yeah.
There are no opportunities.
And
But we went to school.
yeah, and most of the time when everyone is graduating from, I don't know, but I think everyone, when they are graduating from their various schools, your lecturers tell you that go out there and be a job maker, not a
Yes.
job seeker.
Yes.
There are a lot of things that people can do out there. When
Yeah,
you graduate from
entrepreneurship,
school, you can start up a business. You don't need a lot of money to start up a business.
That's for
There's
sure.
some people out here that are doing some kind of business.
But can you
Who-
say that?
But the problem is, they will be like, I'm a graduate.
What will take me to go and I'm gonna tell me if it-
No,
Hey,
sell
why,
that
why
Tamiya.
why will I be selling water?
Tell that tummy and that water, you may get connection with
Yes.
those the people that
Why
you're looking
why would
for.
I be wanting to be a cleaner when I have a paper,
Let me
a
assure you that
certificate,
one
or
actually-
will be poor.
whatever that you people are saying, it's actually reflect on me. When I graduated,
Yes.
because I was having this this thing, because I did petroleum engineering,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
I did petroleum and an accountant. So I was just seated at home with my certificate, hoping to get a job opportunity
will land on you.
in one of the NGOs, well, one of the petroleum companies, right? So one of the time, my friends came around like, you listen to this radio, you have good English, good Arabic, and you have easier communication with people. So why
Yeah.
not go and try this? So it started as a joke, and I think it's that one friend who pulled me out of that very situation.
Comfort
To
zone.
yeah,
say
from
it.
my comfort zone. Like youth are so comfortable with just them. Khalas, you are graduate, it a carry. Manatu, your work is to work in an office. Yet, like you have mentioned it already, you need to be a job
creator, not
Yeah.
a job seeker.
So I feel like it's also us who are contributing to our own poverty and as well our own downfall at the same of the time. Because like at some point, I can agree, people who haven't gone to school, they really want to work hard
Yes.
so that their kids can go to school.
Yeah.
But now those kids who are sent to school, they come back, they be so relaxed because they have gotten their certificate, like in Shokot Bigger Murphy, and they don't want to think out of a box.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that is one of the biggest challenges.
But could you say that education has to do with going to school only?
For me, no.
Yeah.
Someone one time told me like, do you know like schools are now on street and TikToks?
Someone told me that that certificate is just a paper, but
Yes.
I don't agree with that. You cannot print your own. You need to
Yes.
have it, no matter what.
It's you to
what
work for
what-
that
yes.
paper.
Yes, and
What
that
the
what
second-
took some people 3 years, 5
Yes.
years, 6 years to
Yeah.
sit for exams, sit in front of lecturers.
They went
pass
through a lot
exam.
to make sure that they have got that paper.
That's
As I
the
say,
thing.
gain the knowledge,
Mhm.
do the practice with your skills.
That's for
That
sure.
is it. Yeah.
And I think it's so important for us also to really get out of a comfort zone. Like
Yeah, sure.
if whatever that you have started haven't worked out, it's start
Look for
thinking
another
out
field.
of the box.
Mm.
Because
Yeah.
like we are now, let me say 80% to 70% of the youth nowadays, they do have smartphones.
Yes.
Which I have been talking about it earlier on my radio talk show.
Yeah.
Like people need to use their gadgets in a very proper manner because you never know what will be happening. I personally, as Diko, I use my phone. I have followers on my social media, right?
Yeah, sure.
That's what the numbers I give it to a client. Okay, you have these numbers. Why can't you come with me? We partner together. Advertise with me. I get money. You get your business.
Yeah,
booming.
business
booming.
mind.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
So
The
it's
business
like-
mind.
You see, this is how like we really need to think out of a
Yeah,
box
sure.
and not getting into our comfortable places. But still, when it comes to other thing like. How does being educated influence a young person participating in civic duties, especially like you mentioned about being useful to the society? So, they have started banking, they have studied, maybe they're doctors, or maybe they're just someone who are influential to the society, and they can really perform some good duties to their country. Because like not everybody, they say like I'm a South Sudanese, but the love for South Sudan is a little bit
Yeah, there's no patriotism.
Yes.
Motivation is out there.
yes.
Because no one has spoken good of it.
Mm.
Yes.
That you could go there and become productive. There's
Yeah.
ground for you. to actually invest and get something out of it.
I
That's why.
also think that the reason to ask why most of people who study outside of Juba and they come to Juba feel they come with a lot of excitements. Yes, yes. They expect that I'm going to go to Juba since I've graduated. I'm going to get a job. I'm going to be in an office. I'm going to be working and be earning dollars. Yes,
Yes. I wasn't having those kind of
they come with a lot of expectations without thinking that before I start expecting these, how did I start? Because when you go to school, you start from nursery. From there, you go to primary and all that. That should be also the process that you should have in mind when you want to get a job. I know very many people who started their jobs as a cleaner, and then at the end of the day, they are on top there because they started slowly here. But you cannot come with all those expectations, and when you come with those expectations and those things doesn't happen the way you expected them to happen, you start blaming people. You say, "Hey, there is everything in this country is about connection."
Bribes and all that.
It's going to be hard. Like, still when it comes to education as well, I feel like it also contributing in us solving issues, or even contributing in solving issues around us, and even not as in our communities, not even in our country, but even at the global stage. But it can goes down to the rural areas. Maybe someone might be listening to this, someone with ability, they feel like yes, they're educated, but now communicating with someone who is uneducated, it's going to be a problem. Like now, with me having the education, as is they will be having this thing like, who are you to come and direct me? We have been staying like this for I don't know how many years. But who are you to come and change our lives?
There's this thing, the statement they say, you want to bring the white man.
You see, side things. But yet education is being put outside there to be solving issues. Now, to that very young person who is in the rural areas, they are educated, they have the little knowledge that they have acquired, how they can be able to be solving issues relatable to their communities or even their surrounding environment.
Well, someone who has gone to school and has gone back, I think it is very important for you to study and go back to your village. You study, you want to stay in Juba. What do you want to do? Everyone wants to be. Everyone wants to be here. It is congested. You're not going to get all those opportunities because everyone wants it. But I think when you go back to your village, you'll be able to, instead of going to your village looking for a job, or coming to Juba looking for a job, you can go to your village and create jobs. Or sometimes there's some things that are happening in the community, like you find in the community there's some group of people, you have the youth something, and they'll be wanting leaders for it. Now, if you are someone who is educated, you have high chances of getting that position or being with those guys. And most of the time when you're educated and you go to the youths in the community and you portray like good characters, you're willing to listen to them, you're willing to show ways of how to solve these problems, you're always going to get these opportunities, because as I say, you cannot want to start from up. You need to start.
And still, when it comes to the other thing, I feel like you have mentioned about us going back to our villages, because, for instance, if you are an engineer, you can just partner with maybe a government office, or even you can just partner with whoever is just there to go and fix sikarbura lebele takomeza. Awita bura abino amarat alba binu de.
And yes, instead of building in the town here, why don't you take it to the village?
That's the thing.
There are other people who go outside of this country. Forget about people who are doing it here. There are people who are going to Uganda and they're building there. They go to Kenya and then instead of investing this at home, country. You went to school because you want to change this country, not to change another person's country.
The thing. So why not even get those investors and take them to your villages? For instance, you are an agriculture person. Go to those agriculture. Actually, South Sudan at large is a very fertile country, right?
Yes.
You can just grow crop everywhere,
and
then start bringing
Actually,
it.
I was talking about that. Why don't people invest in agriculture? It's very important.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
And even not only that, but even in a health sector, we do have students who have been sent to Cuba, to Ethiopia, to
Yes.
Now they are just everywhere with their certificate, but they think like they have done nothing because opportunities have not been given to them.
Yeah.
But
because
you create
I feel like in the other hand, like they are there, they are willing to work, or they are really to help out with the education that they have learned, but the opportunity is not being given to them.
Yeah.
Just in the name, because they are young, they are non-experienced, or the people who are in that such position, they feel threatened because even those people who are in those positions, they don't have the certificate that the youth have already acquired.
Yes.
Actually, that is actually.
They feel like when
talking
this
about
person who is educated come in, there is a high chances that I'm going to be kicked out
Yes.
because I don't have the
Yes,
papers.
yes,
But I
yes.
know of one person that this person studied law, is a lawyer, but right now he's a farmer. Ajo Noel, I don't know if you know of Ajo Noel. He has a farm in Torit called the Gale Farm, over 2,000 acres.
Wow.
Yes, that is really, really
Inspiring.
yes.
For me, it's
Yeah,
inspiring.
yeah.
You
To
know,
me
sometimes
too.
you leave the one you study.
Yes.
Sometimes you have the ability to do some other things. Like
Yes.
now you say that he is now a farmer. Right?
Yes.
You see, he did not look at it as a bad thing, but he saw
And
something.
on
Having
top
a
of that, he's
vision.
even inspiring people. He tells people that I'm not doing this because I want to show something. I'm doing this because I want to encourage other people out there that you can still study this and you can be able to embark on agriculture, because agriculture is the backbone of each and every country. Now, right now, I think I was reading through something, is it yesterday, that was saying about 52% of this country are facing acute food sick. Yeah. So
It's just really so serious that it's so beautiful that we are speaking from our hearts, because someone might be thinking like, they also carrying bonus kalam. Yes, know that we are the youth, because we are 75% of this very beloved country of ours. But still, when it comes to education itself, like, why is it so important to be achieving gender equality when it comes to education? Because like today, actually, whoever is going to be watching this, it's on 19th of November. That's when we shot it, and people are celebrating International Men's Day, right?
Yeah,
People
yeah.
are celebrating that. But now many people will be seeing that in 20 years to come, they will now have to come and fight for boys' equality as well, because now they're fighting for girls' gender equality and all these things. But maybe in 20 years, because now the focus is on girls, in 20 years they will now have to come and
I think all this while the focus has been on the male child or the other gender. But they should not feel bad that this time around it's for us. It has to be something that is balancing. They say what a man can do, a woman can do better.
What do you have to say about it?
Gender equality is for all.
Yes.
Let me say that from the male and the female. They say girls, boys, women, men. The race, it is the sex doesn't matter, but that is like a balance. Let me say a balance consideration given to each side. It's what is your question again? I want to
About the gender equality. How can we achieve gender equality in regards to education?
All right. You see, as an educated person, you know the value of two different genders coming together. There's a different view. As me, I'm actually a female, right? I have different ideas of life or any activities. And so a male has different ideas of activities. So if you only take one gender, like let's take the female side, we bring the awareness for them, we do everything advocates for only female, who are the male. So but when you involve them, there's a different change that brings unity, understanding. That way you don't find gender-based violence when you teach them that the value of a woman to a man and the value of a man to the woman.
Yes, and also collaboration and some of the stereotypes that we have, like women. There are a lot of stereotypes for women and girls. Like you as a woman, you're not supposed to.
Marasake, that phrase.
That's why it pains me a lot. I don't know why. It pains me. When I just walk on the street and I hear someone say that, I feel like going back to correct.
Yeah, so I think some of these things can be worked on if we come together as one, because when you come together as one, you have different views. And when you talk about it, addressing it is easy and it's really very simple. But the problem is when you don't talk about it and you don't come together to listen to the different views that each and everybody has. A male has a different view, as she said, even a female has a different view of certain perspectives. How are we going to be able to understand each other and their different cultural norms and values and all that?
It's just really crazy that It's getting crazier each and every time. But do you guys think like one day, one time, South Sudan will really be somewhere if everybody is
sure.
given an opportunity to study and
Indeed,
even
yeah.
change the environment through the different fields that they have graduated from, and even the opportunity that is being given to them?
This country has a bright future. There is a lot of potential. There is still room for change. All those other countries that you see developed right now, they took time.
Yeah, it took
So
time.
I would advise, let us be patient. Not patient that we just fold our hands and we don't do anything. Let's do whatever that we are doing, but we have in mind that everything is going to change. Nothing, they say nothing lasts forever. Things do happen in each and every country. Maybe those guys, things are happening in their countries, they are not talking about it. Or maybe you have not seen all these things happening. But these things are happening for the better future to come. Our parents suffered those days. They went through a lot,
So
but
I
right
think
now,
we should also educate our parents.
yeah.
If you want change.
Yes, but right now we are at least moving slowly. We shall get there.
Shift, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, it's so interesting each and every time. Whenever it comes to the Youth Pulse podcast, we always speak from our hearts, and when we speak from our hearts, the time flies so fast. And we came to an end with our podcast today. But put in mind is that education is not just about acquiring knowledge; it's also about building a foundation for a lifelong learning and success. So, as a youth, try to embrace education, then embrace the power of change, their lives, and as well the society we live in for a better future and a better future of South Sudan. From me, Diko De Andrew, this have been it. Till next time, thank you for watching.
The Youth Pulse podcast is speaking from our hearts.